All right, Philly. This guy's a local, so you really gotta show love, all right? You know him from Angel and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You know him from Bones, but Philadelphia, you know him as one of your own. Please show your love for Mr. David Boreanaz!
Yo, what's up, Philly? Hometown, happy to be here. This is a huge convention center.
Welcome home.
Thank you so much. Where is the golf carts or something?
Segways. We need segways.
You do need segways. I was driving up and I saw 3 kids on segways. I got nervous. They must have been 12.
The Segway gang.
They don't have airbags.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
Philly!
Let's go Flyers! Oh, I fucking love it. I was just back, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, if Emily was here, she'd hit me under the table. I was just out back, saw Tony Bruno, my man, Tony B.
Yeah, Tony, good guy.
He's a great guy, he's fantastic. So,
Tony Bruno is joining us for Wizard World Comic Con, so who knows Tony Bruno out there? A couple of you should know Tony Bruno.
Well, listen, I'm so glad to be here, and thank you so much for coming out, first of all, standing in line, getting a picture, and you guys have embraced the shows that I've been in, and obviously in the show that I'm in now with Bones, and it's just a fantastic experience to be able to come home and have you guys all, people gave me gifts.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I got a pair of socks.
Socks are good.
Yeah,
socks.
And I got a jar of sauce.
A jar of sauce is good.
From Buffalo, New York.
The what? The buffalo sauce.
Yeah, and I got
some
pictures, and I got some cat food. Don't own a cat, but
but now it's going to motivate you to get a cat.
That's
not going to happen. So when you come back home, what do you do? What do you like to go to? Spots that you like to hit?
Well, I just like to be home in general. You come off the plane and then you start to see the orange and black and the red, and the stuff starts to filter in, and then you see the guys. And, yo, what's up, Dave? How you doing? Ham and cheese, sausage and peppers. I usually I live in the suburbs. My parents are in Haverford, so for me, it's about coming home and getting a home-cooked meal from my mom, which I'm going to get that tonight. Some homemade meatballs, some sauce, and maybe some cutlets. I asked her for cutlets, and she says it's too hard right now. And I said, well, you got to do the cutlets, or I got to start cooking the cutlets. And the guy who actually owns the Wizard World, he's a really nice name is John. He thinks he can cook better than me, which is funny.
That should be a panel on its own.
That's a whole other cooking channel.
David versus John Macaluso on stage.
Throwdown.
The throwdown, yeah.
I usually go to like last night, we went to Dirty Frank's, which is an old school bar, and it's been around for a long time. I like to walk the streets, so you get a cheesesteak, go to Tony Luke's maybe, throw down a steak, get it inside out, without, a little provolone, no onions, ketchup, and just kill that. That's like once a year. So I usually leave Philadelphia with a yeast infection. But it's fun.
And I love that quote, taken out of context, is now on the internet.
It's all over the place. Boreanaz says a yeast infection. Yeah. This is going to go over really well.
Really well. Well, let's throw it to some questions. Let's start over here. Hi there.
How are you?
I don't know if that mic's on, but we're going to make it work.
I can.
There you go.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, we're
okay,
on.
cool. Hi, David.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, so I've noticed Booth has a lot of similarities to you personally, so I was wondering, with the Flyers and Philly and all that, so I was wondering if that was put in for you, or if you had any of that input, or if it was just sort of a random coincidence.
Well, when we shot the pilot, I randomly brought certain items to the character that I wanted to kind of portray with him. Well, it was like the socks, which was a big thing that I wanted to have. He's got these pens, when you turn them upside down, they undress. Cards that are different colors for his investigative kind of prowess when he's out there. Different colors match for different crime scenes. Dice in my pocket, Zippos. I mean, I like Zippos. I do wear crazy socks. I mean, I do love that. So I think an element of certain things about Booth, that what you want to do with a character is bring them to the character that you are playing, but through his eyes. And for me, it's a direct kind of a similarity of myself that I can bring to the character for what my experiences in life are that I can apply to my acting, which is kind of how I work. So there are some similarities, and with the Flyers, the NHL, I'm obsessed with the Flyers, and
I'm a Kings fan, sorry.
That's okay. Flyers West won the cup this year. It's not as good as the Flyers, but we do have certain elements. I mean, Booth does have a Pittsburgh Steelers cup on his desk, and I mean, there's one point where Booth wanted to. I remember I wanted to get a Jack Lambert poster and put him up in the lockers where Booth would kind of work out in the FBI, but that set didn't make it. So, yeah, I do bring certain elements of my game to the characters. If that answers your question.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi there.
Hi David, my name's Corey. I'm actually a public school teacher here in Philly. I teach science, and I wanted to know, because on Bones there's so much science, what would you say to students in Philadelphia about science, about what you do on the show? How much have you learned since filming it? And by looking at your face, I think I've overwhelmed you, and I'm sorry.
All right, I do not play a scientist.
I know you're an FBI
I play a
agent.
cop with an attitude. So, science on our show is extremely important, and it's researched, and it's done with a very particular eye. They're very true to what they write. Hart Hansen and Stephen Nathan and all the writers are very particular with the bodies and the science and the breakdown of it, and Emily just does a great job with all of that dialect and stuff. It's amazing. I mean, I'm amazed sometimes at the monologue she has to do with all these bones and stuff. It's just, thank God I played a cop. But as far as the Philadelphia kids learning science, they should be enthusiastic about it, because it could open up a world of unknown, and you could be on a TV show. Life could be good for you too. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much. And I have loved you since I was in middle school and had to pretend to be sleeping to watch Buffy since my mom thought it was too violent.
Yeah, all right, I love that. Thank you.
I thought I saw somebody in the audience. I'm gonna call him out. It's nice to have you here.
But who's here? Is my dad here?
I don't know. I think he may be. Where is he? I thought I saw.
Is my father
Dave
here?
Roberts in the house somewhere.
Maybe. Is he here?
Did he come in?
Did he make
No.
it?
Oh, there he is.
Where
I
is
did
he?
see him.
Where? Oh, yeah, there he is.
David.
That's my dad right there, everybody. That's it. That's the guy. I call him the mayor of Philadelphia. Some call him Santa Claus. That's my father up there. It was one of the true joys of coming home. Is that man right there? Love you.
That's awesome. So we got two Philly celebrities right here in the house.
He's the one who taught me, so everything goes to him.
Did actually, growing up in a house with a broadcaster, did you pick up like a lot of tips about how to interact with the public, how to kind of roll with all this exposure and everything?
Run fast if you're at a Phillies game and they say it's starting to hail, because then they start throwing ice chips at you. It's a true story. Going in high school and being razzed my sophomore year as a football player, and knowing that if it was bad weather, I would get beat up. In a fun way. It was no like bowling or anything like that. But my father always, and still does to this day, take the time to stop and listen, which is sometimes, I think, for all of us, the hardest thing to do, and especially in today's world with technology and so much going on. Sometimes people just need to be heard, and I learned, especially when I direct, I use this a lot, and just in life, is to listen to the other person, and don't interrupt, and be there for them, rather than yeah. Really? What's that? When are we leaving? Okay, yeah. and you're who? Like, we need to really just take time to do that in life. And he's taught me how to be very, my humility comes from him, and being humble and realizing where you came from. The foundation of your family is so very important. And in my life and wherever I was, at ups or downs, he was there to support me fully and recognize that, you know, life is never going to be easy, and sometimes it's always better to give, and give with a whole heart, and give with not expecting anything in return. And I think that would make the world a better place, and I thank him for that.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Jay Roberts. Let's take a question over here. Hi.
Hi, David.
Hi.
One of my favorite Dido songs is White Flag, and I absolutely love that you were in the video, you and your lovely wife. And I was wondering if you can tell us what it was like to do that.
To do the Dido video?
Yes.
That was a quick, like a day shoot, and I didn't quite know what to expect. Doing a music video is a lot different than anything I've ever experienced. It's a long day of waiting around, and costume changes actually for her because she's singing the song, and they have playback, and then they do these specific sequences. But when I got to the hotel and I went and did a wardrobe check, I wasn't too familiar with Dido. I heard the song, I said, this is great, I'll do it. So she was in the room with me and I didn't know who she was. I was very embarrassed. I felt so bad. And I said, who are you? And she looked at me like, oh, it's my song, you're in my music video. It was a very embarrassing moment and I felt a little small there. But it was a great experience, it was a good song, and I love the way it came out. But it's a very montage sequence of fluidity and visuals, you know, with music. It's beautiful.
What did Jamie think about being in it?
Sorry?
What did Jamie think about being in it?
She was not in it. It was just me.
You man broke the one question rule. For shame. But let's jump over here. Hi.
Hi, David.
Hi.
I think you played the hottest FBI agent ever. My question is, in Bones, there's a lot of decomposed bodies and really creepy ways. Like, what are your reactions when you see it on the stage? What's your reaction when you see it?
They do a great job. The Jaegers do a fantastic job. And in the season finale, we had the actual body explode in this trailer, which was a mess. They are very particular, and all the bodies, whether it's bones that look like they're in a pool of soup in a bathtub, to disgusting find in the ground. You become a bit immune to it because you see it over and over, and you see them prepping it, putting the pieces in and all over the place. So I never really kind of had much of a problem with it. I'm usually the guy like flicking the juice at Emily, or taking a piece of the bone and hiding it and getting in trouble, and she goes to find it and it's in my back pocket and they don't use that tape, and I'm the card, so it doesn't really freak me out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi there.
Hi, David. So astronauts or cavemen? Who wins?
Oh, the astronaut and caveman thing. Well, I'd rather be in space. So, I mean, for me, it's an astronaut. I mean, I particularly like to be floating around. So, caveman's got a bone and a lot of hair. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
The age-old question.
I know.
Yeah. Hi there.
Wow, look at you. Mr. Green Man with red horns.
Yes.
You're back.
Yes. I'm a big fan of Angel, and in particular Lauren.
Yes.
Since I will never have a chance to ask him, I was wondering how it was working on set with Andy Hallett.
Andy was complete joy to work with. Someone who went through hours of makeup and never complained. To me, when he first came on the show, I was like, who is this person singing these crazy cabaret songs and running around and just loving everybody? And, you know, my character's like, Mr. Birdie guy. Who are you? I can't do him anymore. But you know, God bless his soul, as a person who was taken way too soon from us and the family of people that we worked with, and we used to have so much fun on the set, just talking, and I used to always look at the outlandish clothes that he had on, the different types of jackets, and he would have, like, his would be inside made by, like, Sid DeVore, or something crazy. I'm like, Armani. So we would compare and contrast, but his loudness of color that he was wearing on the outside was always fun. But he was a gentle person, and he was someone who I miss, and I still miss. So I love him for that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we're going to take a question from the Frankly Chat app. It's a social media platform that we're making use of. This comes from Jacob, who wants to know, what's the appeal of doing serialized TV for you?
Where's Jacob?
Where is Jacob? He might be at home too.
Oh,
They can
we're doing
register
someone at
these
home.
questions. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
he
sorry.
could be in the room, or he could be at home. But
I'm just joking with you. Okay, so what's it like to be serial?
to the appeal of serialized TV for you.
Serialized TV, like chasing serial killers, or just
I think
being a
episodic
serial?
is probably, yeah.
Episodic is a very difficult hour. It's tough. It's 22 episodes. I think in today's television landscape, we're narrowing it down to the new fad in Hollywood is let's do a limited series. Man. Let's just get a film actor, throw him in. We'll do a quick 13. You're in, you're out on FX or on cable. And you win an Emmy, and then you'll be doing a big film, and you win an Oscar. Let's revamp that career of yours. I think that the films of today have become geared towards kids. I think the television of today has been geared towards adults. Growing up, for me, it was the Planet of the Apes, Starsky and Hutch. Fridays and Saturday nights was the best time to watch television, and that was for kids. Now, the writers have turned and the tables have turned a bit, and there's more value in scripted series that you can get out with content and character choices and get away with certain things more on cable than you can on network. But the beauty of network television is that there's a bar and a challenge of you not to always drop an F-bomb or just ride that thin line. So for me, I enjoy the ride of it, but the 22 episodes is very taxing, very grueling, mentally and physically, but it's worth it because it's being able to give back to you guys and enjoy a great fun show, and if you're lucky enough to do it, and I'm very blessed and fortunate, I've enjoyed that, so it's a fun ride.
Thank you, Jacob, wherever you are. Hi there.
Hi, David. This is Kelly and my friend John.
Kelly and
John.
John?
Jung.
John? Kelly
Like
John?
jungle without the L-E.
Kelly.
And you've already confirmed for my mom that
Kelly.
your dad's in the audience.
What's happening, Kelly?
Hey.
How you doing, Kelly? Kelly. I like Kelly. Kelly love. Kelly. We're waiting, Kelly.
Okay. So my question was,
Kelly.
if you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would your career path be?
I love architect, I love buildings, I love photography, and I love wine. I love farming. I'd love to have a tractor, and I'd love to just walk the vineyards, berry, grow some grapes and walk around with a stick. Kind of fun, right? It'd be cool. You pick grapes, have a grape.
Pick one off the vine.
Yeah, pick one off the vine, toss it up, check its texture, its density. I probably want to be a winemaker that builds amazing buildings. They may come out a little crooked, but they would look cool.
This make me want a glass right now. It's like, hey, we got the glass down there, right? Hi.
Thank you, Kelly.
Hi, thanks so much for coming out today, and I have a bit of a silly question. On Bones, all of the characters like to give Sweets a hard time because he's so much younger than the rest of them, and as someone who's a lot younger than their friends, I relate to that. In real life, does the cast also like to give him a hard time for being younger?
Well, yes and no. We enjoy his silliness of the character that he portrays. I think it was more so in the beginning when we first started seeing Dr. Sweets, because it was our therapy for the relationship to develop. And Booth didn't really have the patience to be told what to do by a kid who looked like he was 14, stuffed in a suit, and had, a bad rash on his forehead. I don't know. So I used it more or less for a character development of the character within the storyline. So that was just for characters. But John's great. I mean, he's so much fun to work with. He's a professional, and he's super talented. He's a great writer, and we love having him.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi there.
Hi. My question is there a performance or a scene that you've been especially proud of that never made the final cut? And conversely, has there been a scene that you've been embarrassed that they used?
Pretty much everyone. I can't watch myself. It's a mess. So difficult. It wasn't really a particular scene, but last year I did something for Full Circle, and I played a character named Chase, who was a comedian who was a homophobic, and it was a very dark departure for a character that was written by Neil LaBute, and I found that to be extremely challenging, and I wish that was be able to had more eyes on it, being it was on DirecTV, that it was very limited to viewership, but that was a role that I really loved to do, and I really liked that performance, and it was because it was so challenging and difficult. As far as the other shows are concerned, I think pretty much when I first started out on Buffy, I really didn't know what I was doing. I just put a jacket on and looked. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks for the assist.
Thank you for the assist to my right. Very kind of you. Yes, thank you. I didn't really. I was always embarrassed. I think it's just a tough. You find yourself, you do things, and in Bones there was a few moments when I had when. I think it was with Wendell and the cancer thing and going over that. I was beating myself up once over a particular scene that I didn't quite get or like, and then we finally got it. But when you're acting in certain situations, in certain scenes, you find yourself sometimes not really getting out and fighting yourself. And that's where you got to just kind of be calm. But I guess that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, you've actually done a ton of directing, and speaking of a challenge, is that like more of a satisfying challenge for you? And is that the direction you plan on going more in? Aside from being an architect winemaker, do you think you're going to veer more towards directing?
I find for me, it's really the enjoyable process of being involved with great people that are really in tune to a project, whether it's a film or a television series or a play on stage. And behind the camera, for me, I really love directing. I love the composition of shots. I enjoy moving the camera around a lot. I'm a bit manic when I'm directing and acting at the same time. It's tough but fulfilling, and I love just getting everyone together on the same page. And the beauty of it for me is watching everyone who's doing their job do it to their fullest and being a part of that. Because it's like a whole thing. I operate very much like in the sports metaphor world. For me, it's a team effort, and people have heard this all the time. The hard work really does pay off, and everyone has to be on the same page. And if you're not on the same page, then that's where the problems start to kind of go awry, and you have to pick that up. But directing for me is something that I really, really enjoy, and definitely would love to do more of.
Yeah, cool. Hi.
Hi, David.
Hi.
My name's Elaine, and my question is, where did you get a lot of your character development for Booth? Because he reminds me of Mulder sometimes, and I'm like, did you watch The X-Files?
Mulder? How dare you?
Never heard of it.
How dare you? Eject. As Supergirl goes flying through the roof of the convention.
There's actually a pit.
But the big story on Action News tonight is Supergirl went flying through the convention room because of a Mulder question. No, I never really thought of it that way as far as it being irrelevant and close to Mulder. I didn't think about it. For me, it was really about finding his quirks and his tics through his personal experiences. When Emily and I first started the show, we worked with an acting coach by the name of Ivana Chubik, who we allowed us to kind of get into the roles and always maintain the characters. Our characters would always go back to each other and maintain. That is the purpose of our show. Fox really wanted to turn it into this X-Files kind of a show. They wanted to be more of a serious drama. And, you know, I remember, like, season 1, I was doing a scene, and I was interrogating somebody with a super ball. I was throwing super balls all over the interrogation room, and while it was internally good for me, and I was using it, in Daly's heart's like, what the f- are you doing, man? You can't be throwing super balls all over the place. It was, well, that's what Boots would do. It's a tactic. I was like, no, he wouldn't do that. So I experimented a lot. Things worked, things didn't work, and through trial and error, you find that.
Well, I can't say Booth is sexier than Mulder, so.
That's very kind.
Nice save, Supergirl.
Supergirl comes back to the convention floor as she walks to the front, takes a seat next to the woman who says, I'm hot. This is exciting convention, isn't it?
I feel like we're doing the DVD commentary of this panel.
It's like crazy nuts.
Hi there.
Hi. My question's related to Angel. I was wondering, of course there's a large difference between Angel and Angel Without a Soul, so I was wondering what you prefer to play, or what
So cute. Where are you from?
I'm from Pennsylvania.
All I can hear is... Okay, breathe.
The difference between
You're not a thinker, are you?
Meditative yoga winemaker who builds houses? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was wondering also, like, what, does it take, do you prefer, and does it take any extra technique to play an evil character, or, what sort of mindset do you get yourself into, and...
Right. As far as playing the mindset of an evil character and finding his likability, I think it's, the antithesis is always interesting. Every actor is like, oh, I can play evil, that's great. I think some of the best people that do it are they play him very likable and true. And if you're true to it and you're committed, then it comes out much better. Rather than being, I know Mr. Evil Guy. So, that's not going to work. But, yeah, he was Angelus was a very sick, perverted person. And hot.
And thanks for the chime in.
Thank you for that
Front
chime
row.
in again.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi.
So my question is also about Angel.
Yes.
As we all know, you are super into hockey, and Angel also is into hockey. He cites his reasons as being it's indoors and most of the games are at night. And I was just wondering, does Angel like hockey because you like hockey, or again, was that a coincidence?
No, I had no reference, because at the time I think I was starting to play Angel. I mean, I liked the game, but I was really novice at playing it, so I don't think I was really more passionate about that specific area in relationship to the character. No, it was not.
So maybe Angel made you like hockey.
Maybe Angel made me like hockey? Maybe. But then he would freeze. The vampires freeze to death? I don't know. There's tons of them out there now.
So there's got to be a vampire rule book out there.
There must be some kind of guideline or something.
Yeah.
I never read it. I just put a jacket on and looked hot.
The front row agreed. Remember, we're running down the panel, so hashtag WWPHillyCC and hashtag DB panel to get the nameplate. But my question is, as a Philly boy, what's your favorite Philly movie?
Oh, Rocky's awesome. I mean, that's come on. We went down to the Italian market and had good Italian food the other night, and you see all the cartons and the squashed watermelons and the boxes, and that's Rocky was just that was badass. It's Rocky Balboa. Go punch me in the cooler. That's cool. I mean, Rocky.
You need access to a lot of meat to be able to train that way.
Yeah, that's a lot of it. Yeah, I really liked. I like Rocky a lot. That's what other movies shot in Philly?
There's been Sixth Sense. There's been what?
Unbreakable. Annapolis.
Banana boat.
But you heard Banana Boat too? There's been a ton of
There, I know there have been lots of. There was one Philadelphia movie that Brian De Palma directed that my father was in. What was that? Blowout. My dad played the newscaster. He did. He was the newscaster.
I did not know that. That is awesome.
I know, right? Anything De Palma does, I love. But yes, but I would say Rocky.
And then Blowout.
Oh, and Silver Linings Playbook was great.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome. I mean, that was like true Eagles, right?
Yeah.
I'm shooting a movie in Philly, and it's going to be amazing.
It'll be hot.
Will you wear
And I'm not going to be hot.
I could not make that out at all, but I'm going to take a question over here. Hi.
Hi, my name is Hope. Sorry, I'm really nervous. Even though Booth isn't a squint, he still is kind of a fanboy with the comics. So what universe do you think Booth would be in, or what superpower, if he was in a comic book?
He'd have a really fast car. He'd have an amazing power to like just go from point A to point B very swiftly. Like he'd be like attack like the attack and the Flyers coming out of their own zone, coming through the middle of the blue line, dump a chase, being able to sit in front of the net, goal scorer. He's that type of guy. He'd be like, I think you see him and you don't. He's like there. He's got a cool car. He's got a cool coat. He flies on the ground, and then he can like power, like he go through electricity, like power lines. He can tap into electrical things and like just shoot across America, and shoot it all on green screen. And it's a huge budget.
Yeah, hockey player secret identity. That's not.
I like that secret identity hockey player.
That makes sense.
Thank you. I don't know if you can answer this, but are you going to be voice acting as Leon in Kingdom Hearts 3?
Oh, I can't answer that at all. Gee. No, I don't think so. I don't know if I'm doing that. Did I do that? What did I do?
You did.
I know what you're saying. You mean no, I'm not. that would be a no.
That's an answer.
There you go.
There you go. Hi there.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Sarah.
And real quick, since you're enjoying all these compliments about how gorgeous you are, I just want to let you know that when I was a teenager watching Buffy, it was the first time I actually wanted to be bit by a vampire. But my question is...
Would you like to get bit by a vampire?
No, my question...
Okay.
Since we're not allowed to have personal requests. My question is, on Bones, you said that you're not the one that usually gets grossed out. Is there anything that's been so gross that you actually got to that point where you're like, ew, that's just disgusting, whether it be the bugs or something that just looked really real, or...
No, with the bone, like, do I get disgusted? No, not really. Tamara gets really freaked out by these little beetle bugs that they're like crawlers, and they put them on the dead bodies, and they seem to pinch when you get them on their skin. So when she's like doing anything, I'm always like behind her, right? And she's like, "Oh, that's not happening." It's funny because they show up in their little blue jumpsuits and they jump around. But no, nothing really freaks me out on set. No, nothing really that intense. Like, they got good coffee on the set. Fun, good times.
That's good. Good coffee.
Good coffee. Coffee's good. Yeah, I enjoy it. You like a good cup of coffee now?
Thank you.
I like a good coffee.
Small coffee. Dunkin' Donuts. Nice. Wawa.
Wawa
sandwich. Wawa coffee.
Hoagie Fest.
Wawa.
Hi, David. I've been a fan of you since I was a little kid. Buffy and Angels, those are two of my favorite shows ever.
Thank you so much.
Years ago, there was a rumor that you were being looked at to be Batman, and around the time that Christian Bale was being looked at. Is that rumor true? And if not, or if it was, would you ever want to play Bruce Wayne Batman?
That was, I think, an opportunity, but that was a short list, but that never was presented something to me. I think maybe it was just in the eyes the film gods, but no, it wasn't like an actual, we're offering you this role. This is like, we want you to play Batman. I think Batman's great. I know there's people out there that you come and you enjoy all these superheroes. I'm not a big super comic book person. I don't really like them too much, to be honest. But I do like Batman. He's not really a superhero. He's just Bruce Wayne. He's charming and he's the Dark Knight. He's hot. But no, I want to see the Galaxy of the Guardians, the misfit people. That looks cool. I mean, I think it's good to bring some humor back into some of these things, but no.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey there.
Hi. What's pumping? Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
What hair product do you use? Because, it's been like my own personal journey to get your hair, but how am I doing?
You want to know the technique?
Yeah.
I did warn them not to make it weird.
Actually, my son taught me this technique, Jaden, the other day. I'm like, how do you get your hair so great? So he says, Dad, you gotta start the fingers wide, and you gotta go in like this, and then when you go up, you press and keep it tight like that, and then let it go. But you gotta put stuff in there.
Oh yeah.
So it's a combination of Grey Poupon mustard, a little mayonnaise, salt, pepper, olive oil. I crushed tomatoes with my bare feet at 12 midnight the night before, and that product lasts for about 2 days.
So just a smattering of raw egg and sardines.
Yes, and a lot of wine.
A lot of wine. Gotta have the wine.
Okay, I was.
Hold on, my hair's messed up now. I'm sorry.
I was only a few months old when Buffy aired, so I couldn't really be a fan then. But I'm all caught up now, big fan. But my sister's a big fan of Bones. So, which did you like playing better?
That's a tough question. I mean, I think that it's relative to where it was and what I was doing. I enjoyed everything. When Buffy first started in 1997, it was a very small show with a great mind and creator behind it. Joss Whedon created this beautiful ensemble. He's a great writer, and he was able to, write these characters. And I came in, it was a 6 out of 10 case thing. You guys want ordering sandwiches?
Yeah. Actually, we're getting a bottle of wine.
Yeah, I just want cheesesteak inside out. No. It really was fortunate to be a part of it, and the characters developed, and there was this romantic thing that developed. But it all changed, and you go from Buffy, and then you go to Angel, and then you do this other characters in between television shows and films that people have never seen, and you think it's going to be great. And every character that I tackle or go after, I enjoy. And with Booth, what really attracted me to him was the give and take between the two characters, and having this kind of romancing the stone element to it, the arguments and the banter, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it. There's not one that I really could say I enjoy more over the other. I think I just enjoy them in the moment.
Cool, thank you. Unfortunately, this is, I think, going to be our final question. But then we get to find out who won the prize.
What's the prize?
That thing, and then I guess you're going to sign it, the nameplate.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right on.
Cool.
There is one girl here, she just turned 16, and she's so sweet. She came with her mother. I forget her name. They drove all the way, 8 hours. I don't know if you're here, but I want to thank you and happy birthday.
Aww. Happy birthday.
There she is, right? Come on over here. It's her 16th birthday, and I just want to say thank you and happy birthday, and have a bottle of water. Yeah.
Don't sell that on eBay.
Bottle of water.
What's your name? What's that?
Elspa.
All right, everybody, happy birthday, Elspa. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Elspa.
You're back. All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. You're up.
Wow, I'm really lucky to be the last one. So before I ask my question, I just want to say that Bones really inspired me to look into forensics.
Wow, not the FBI? miserably.
You had one job.
I'm going back to the wine. I'm sorry, yes.
Really interests me. So,
That's great. I think it's great because Emily is so proud, and I know Hart loves this, and people are inspired to get into being what you just said. I think it's phenomenal, and if we can do that as a show, as a collective whole, then thank you.
All right, ask your question real quick.
sorry. So my question is that in the beginning of Bones, Temperance seemed to understand jokes and she seemed to be more fierce. As the show progressed, it seemed as if she kind of forgot about those references. And was that more her doing or the director's doing?
Probably the director's and the character's choice, meaning that she forgot about the Bones references, meaning like when I would call her Bones, she'd get mad at me?
No, like references, like jokes from...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Or something like that.
Yeah, she wasn't really aware of what that meant.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was developed more as the series progressed in different areas. It's still seen, like she still has areas that she doesn't really know references, not as much, but she's grown as a person. And I think with that relationship, we've seen that tapered off because Booth has given her, as well as she's given Booth, an understanding of what life is about in this courtship. And that's how the relationships kind of got to the point of where it was. You're talking going into the 10th season show where you have developed that relationship and you've seen her character grow. So that's why.
Cool, thank you. All right, Billy, before we let you go, we want to know who won the awesome Twitter contest using the hashtags. And do you want to read that name?
What is this? Oh yeah, this is everybody sitting in their chair. Please come up and receive.
As fast as you can. Rush the
stage. No.
What the person that's tweeted
at 111 girl.
Vic. Where are you, Vic? 111 girl.
111 girl.
Right.
Vic.
Make your way up here. David's
girl,
gonna
come on up. Here we
go ahead, sign this thing, and then come on up. Come on down. Meanwhile, Wizard World Philly Comic Con, you guys are great, and show how much you think this guy is great, Mr. David Boreanaz.
Thank you. Thank you, Philadelphia. I love you. You guys are the best. The city rocks. Everybody came and journeyed and traveled all the way out here. We don't valet park. I'm so sorry. The lines to get out of here is going to be maddening. Have a cheesesteak. Yes.